Hello, welcome to another dyno run. Today's steed, a CITROEN BX. I know, a CITROEN BX on this dyno, on this channel. What are the chances? So I'm slowly working my way through the entire BX range on these rollers. Today we have quite a rare one actually. This is a 19 DTR. In other countries that don't speak English, this would have been called a 19 TRD, but because that sounds a little bit like turd, they changed it and put the D in front of the T. A lot of people get mixed up with the T in the DTR. It does not mean turbo. In Europe that would be called a TRD. There is the BX TGD, there's the TZD. The T does not mean turbo, it means tray. If it's a turbo, there is a clue. There is a thing they do to make it obvious it's got a turbo. Do you want to know what that is? They write turbo on it. If it don't have turbo written on it, it ain't a turbo. If it's a BX. Doesn't work for all the others. But for BXs, it ain't a turbo unless it physically says the word turbo on it. Or you've put the word turbo on any other BX. Don't do that. I mean, that said, I stuck an Activa badge on BX once. It didn't make it corner any better. This is a rare car in terms of the trim level, but it's not a rare car in terms of the spec. This is a 1.9 litre naturally aspirated diesel CITROEN BX. Now, normally when I do these runs, I have to go into some hasty research beforehand and Google the specs and the model years and everything like that of whoever's car it is that's just been brought in. In this case, I don't need to, and that's not because it's my car, because it's not, but it is a customer's car. It's a car I know fairly well. I've known it for a couple of years. You might have seen this car at Rustival if you went, and, well, I know these cars quite well, so I already have my predictions. I don't really need to run it. I'm going to make a guess today. I think I can get it to within less than 1 horsepower. Risky, I know. I'm going to predict that this car produces 75. And I genuinely haven't run it before, but I know from experience what these engines tend to do.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
So I have run one of these cars before. I think it's on the website. It's not a video that's been put out, but it is possibly the best BX in the world ever. It was a car known as the Estate. In fact, I think it might still be known as the Estate. It might still survive. If you own that car somewhere, you own royalty. That car has been on this dyno, and it was basically a 200,000 mile CITROEN BX that I owned with a mate. We were given it for free from a guy in Sheffield, and that car was mistreated for quite a long time and did not die. It kept going and on and on and on and on and on, and we did various threads on like piston heads and things like that, retro rides, auto shite, all the rest of it. That car spent a number of years in a barn and got consumed by a hedge and then drove itself out twice, came here, went on the rolling road. I think it still had bits of hedge on it, if I remember rightly. I'm not sure. I can't quite remember. One of the first things I did was put it on the dyno before we did cam belt, service, anything. It was just straight on the dyno. And it produced, I think it made 76 horsepower, which doesn't sound a lot. But what you need to bear in mind is that the book figure on this car is 71. So that's quite good considering it had done 200,000 miles and had not been looked after. Well, not in our lifetime. Chap before looked after it quite well. This is not like that car. I mean, it is the same colour, actually. And same engine and everything, but this car, other way around. 84,000 miles, I think, 85,000 miles. This thing, I know it's a cliche, it ain't running. So this is going to be a good representation of what these cars were like from new, I think. It's probably a little bit more free than they were from new. We'll waste our time doing it, but let's have a look under the bonnet. You've all seen one, but we've got to do the process, you know. I really should do a BX ASMR video, shouldn't I? Lots of nostalgia. So, plastic bonnet. It's light, and, well, there's the engine. So what we've got here is an XUD9 engine, pretty much factory spec. Well, it is factory spec. Naturally aspirated, 1905cc, 71 horsepower, metric horsepower, about 4,500 revs, and 88 pound-foot of torque at, I think, 2,000. I think it's really low. These are great engines. I mean, the XUD9 is legendary. I personally prefer these to the turbo diesels. I do. The only thing I would concede is that the turbo diesel was better if you're doing long distance. If you're doing lots of long distance runs, the turbo diesel was the better one to have. But for around town work, I think these are better. The turbo is it's not that much faster. It's got a bit more about it, possibly 15-20 horsepower more, but the turbo is very laggy at low revs and then all comes in with a load of boost as the revs build, whereas these just give you everything they've got straight away. It's not much, but they tried their best. Yeah, whereas the turbo, you have to kind of wind it up a little bit. It does have a longer gearing. They do have bigger fuel tanks mostly. So yeah, in the grand scheme of things, if you're doing longer runs, the turbo is the more refined one. It's the better one to use to keep speed up on sort of, you know, long journeys. But if you're not doing that, if you're just doing round town work, or you're looking for a sort of modern classic to potter around in, don't discount the naturally aspirated. I actually think, in a way, these are nicer to drive. I just like that instant low down pull that they have. There's no lag at all. They don't waste any time at low revs. 88 pound-foot of torque is not a lot, but it's delivered at 2,000 revs. So before I do the run, what about your predictions? I've gone 75 horsepower, 92 pound-foot of torque. That's bold. It's also pissing down with rain now, which is great. Yeah, what are your predictions? Let me know, because I think this is important. If this does do the 75 horsepower, my power leaderboards on my website, the production and modified classes, which is every car that's been on here, there's a video, and some of the ones that haven't even had videos, they're all on there. They're listed by percentage over or under book figure. So the horsepower that's achieved, it's not the most power at the top, it's the highest percentage over book figure. So that being the case, this 1.9 litre diesel BX might end up in the top 5. Anyway, this is the point where this thing makes me look a moron by disproving everything I've just said. Here it's going to make like 66. Yes, well, it's made me look a prick. 65.7, a lovely graph. Look at the torque. Look at that, 90 pound-foot, 2,000 revs, exactly where it's meant to be. But we are missing 5 horsepower. Or are we? See, I'm not saying I'm a bad loser or anything like that, but that doesn't seem... Well, it does seem right looking at that, but... I'm wondering, there are 2 types of these engines. There's the early type, which was 65 horsepower, and there's the later one, which is 71. I think it was oval port and square port. Now, I thought this was the later type, which I think is a square port, but it might not be. It's an 87 car, so yeah, I'm going to do a quick bit of research, very quick.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
This is the later one. This is a 71 PS, 70 bhp, but PS is effectively what I'm measuring in there. Most people will watch this. 90% of people would watch this and go, what are you moaning about? It's nearly 40 years old. It's 39 years old. It's just produced 65 point something horsepower and it's supposed to be 71. After 85,000 miles, you're moaning. Well, because the other one, and some of the others that have been on here since, have been in the 70s and have done like 200,000. Maybe that's what it is. Actually, genuinely, maybe that's what it is. Maybe the higher mileage ones, as long as they've got compression, they're just freer spinning. The RP on this one, the build date 3882, change over to the later engine was 3780 or something like that. So, yeah, this is the later engine. I thought it was, because I think that box on the top is... That's what the later engine has. So, yeah, there should be 71, and it's not. It's 65.7. Well, we'll do another one from inside, just for nostalgia. Okay, so we've moved inside the 19 DTR. Look at this. Oh. Yeah, like a little time warp in here, but we've got a rattle from somewhere. We've got a crack up there, which is entirely normal. Is it that? Yeah, it's that. That's heat baked. This car spent a lot of time sat outside, which is why the paint's gone. It is the car I've just done the sort of, not buyer's guide, but I've just done the kind of like what to look at on a BX when you're buying one. So yeah, I mentioned in there how it was one that had been sat around a while. Right, It's going to start off in second because it's so torquey. I'm kind of gutted because this feels really nice on the road. I mean, he'll be happy. The graph is lovely. It's almost perfect for a naturally aspirated diesel. Right, so we're into fourth. Dyno is biting. It's bitten. Up she goes. Don't think we're going to need the entire graph there. Oh, that's it. That's the limiter. And now we wait. 66.2, so we have improved slightly. A little hiccupy in the middle, but I know what that is. I know exactly what that is. Suspension pump kicked in, or high pressure pump. That's what that is. So I heard it go. Yeah, so 66.2, 4.5, nearly 91. Yeah, so it's there or thereabouts. It's slightly under, to be honest. There was a chance we'd do the last one from behind to hear the exhaust note, the mighty XUD, but I don't think it's going to be getting into the 70s, is it? That is a bummer. That is a bummer. I'm going to have to put my, I'll have to put the estate footage we've got out on the channel just to redress this. I filmed the estate footage on my phone, which you might think, well, what's the big whoop? You're filming this on your phone. Well, yes, I am. This is being filmed on my phone right now. The problem is the estate was done like 15 years ago. So you can imagine what the camera quality was like. Well, it seems that's all she's got again. There's a bloody pump's cut in again. I sat there and fast idled it for ages to get it all out of its system after I sat my fat ass in it. But yeah, it's still... That's annoying because, well, we've seen the first graph, haven't we? That's not an issue with the engine. That is a parasitic drain. It is the hydraulic pump cutting in and cutting out. Quite frustrating. Shows you how much power it saps as well. Look, how much is that? It's dropped 1 horsepower. It nicks a horsepower. That's bad, isn't it? So 64.8, 91 pound-foot again. She's getting hot, unfortunately. Yeah, it's getting warmer. Getting warmer, everything's getting a bit tighter, and the power is not going to go up anymore. Sad face. I mean, to be honest, most people wouldn't be upset with that. They'd be quite happy. I don't know. I've seen them do more. That is about the same as the one that was called Timex. I think that was about that kind of figure, although the graph on that one was a little bit sketchier. Yeah, it is what it is, I guess. It's a good graph. It's a healthy engine. Drives lovely. It's a lovely thing to drive. It's a lovely little car. Just not powerful, is it? Yeah, well... Once again, it's made me look a prick. I love these cars. I put so much effort into these cars, and I'm always extolling the virtues of them. And all they ever do is make me look like a knob on my own videos. Don't need to do that. I can do it myself.